Everybody, welcome back to Ox Talks. I very much appreciate you watching the show. If you do me a favor and please like these videos, share the video with as many people as you possibly can. And also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. We are growing the channel. There's a topic I want to discuss. I know it's early a show for me today. I have several client meetings here at the office throughout the day, and so I'm not real sure how I'm going to be able to, find time to do some recording and review news throughout the day. So I want to get this one up because I think it's very important. On the heels of Hurricane Helene, we've seen what that did, when it made landfall in Florida, and then it made its way up. We've seen the devastation in North Carolina and Tennessee, and that continues to unfold. Very, very sad situation. But now we have Hurricane Milton. And, it was just Saturday evening, I was looking at some news, and it was a tropical storm. It was Tropical Storm Milton. And then yesterday, I see some news come out saying, well, overnight it strengthened. It's been upgraded to a Category 1 hurricane. That's yesterday. And I wake up this morning, and I'm having some coffee this morning, and I see on Zero Hedge that now it had been updated. It had strengthened massively in the last 24, evidently 36 hours, and it was strengthened to a Category 3 hurricane. So I downloaded, or I forwarded to my email a couple of the articles that I saw relative to the strength of this hurricane, Hurricane Milton, expected to make landfall on Florida's coast sometime Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. By the time I left the house, I showered, got ready to come to the office, I saw an AP article and an updated story on Zero Hedge that it had actually strengthened to a Category 4 hurricane. So this is very, very serious. I'm going to share with you a brief Associated Press article I saw and the updated Zero Hedge article on this. Because it means, if you're in Florida, obviously you're looking at evacuating right now, or really, really buttoning down the hatches, and you better be very well prepared to withstand this storm. They're saying that it's going to remain a hurricane as it crosses the state. So let's see, a lot of times you see these things do weaken once they make landfall. But the fact, and again, I'm not a weather expert by any means, I'm not a meteorologist. But to see, it's rare. I'm kind of a weather geek over the years. I love to follow weather things and the Weather Channel. And it's just, I don't remember, at least in recent past, in literally 36 or 48 hours, a tropical storm going from tropical storm status to a Category 4 hurricane. Guys, comment below. Isn't it normally something that develops over, many, many, many days, sometimes even weeks? Again, not going down any conspiracy theory road, but boy, this seems to be very, 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 let's say, severe weather patterns we're seeing right now develop. On a side note, before I jump into the article, California had another earthquake yesterday, not too far from here. 4.0 or something. I didn't feel it in the Inland Empire, but we're seeing more earth movement here on the West Coast, just as on the East Coast. You guys are seeing more severe weather patterns form. So listen to this. Out of the AP, what I was going to say is, look at, if you're not in Florida and being directly impacted by this, watch this, pay attention, because it's a lesson we all can learn as to, sometimes you can only be so prepared, right? You can't prevent your house from being washed away. But you can certainly, heed evacuation orders if you're in the direct path of something like this. If you're not, look at having food, having water, having security, right, to prevent somebody from trying to take something from you. If you're at a weakened state where, let's say, the police and fire are not available during times of distress or severe emergency, right, where they're just strung too thin to respond to emergencies. So keep all this stuff in mind, guys. You cannot prepare a second after the emergency or the catastrophe or whatever it is hits. Okay, so I'll jump into the AP story. It says Hurricane Milton strengthens into a Category 4. Florida prepares for evacuations and storm surge. Milton rapidly strengthened into a Category 4 hurricane Monday on a path toward Florida population centers, including Tampa and Orlando, threatening a dangerous storm surge in Tampa, Tampa Bay, and setting the stage for potential mass evacuations less than 2 weeks after the catastrophic Hurricane Helene swamped the coastline. It says the storm is expected to stay at about its current strength for the next couple of days, the National Hurricane Center in Miami said. Helene was also a Category 4 at landfall in northern Florida. A hurricane warning was issued for parts of Mexico's Yucatan state, and much of Florida's west coast was under hurricane and storm surge watches. It says Milton had a maximum sustained winds of 150 miles an hour over the southern Gulf of Mexico, the Hurricane Center said. Its center could come ashore Wednesday in the Tampa Bay area, and it could remain a hurricane as it moves across central Florida toward the Atlantic Ocean. That would largely spare other states ravaged, it says, by Helene, which it says has killed at least 230 people on its path from Florida to the Appalachian Mountains. Guys, I responded to a couple comments yesterday. I'm seeing wildly conflicting reports, on YouTube about the death toll from Helene. It's very difficult to get real concrete information. A couple of you gave me some good resources to look at, which I did yesterday. But really, it's almost like it's a media blackout up there. Just very, very difficult to get information. This is forecasters warned of a possible 8 to 12-foot storm surge in Tampa Bay and said flash and river flooding could result from 5 to 10 inches of rain in mainland Florida and the Keys, with as much as 15 inches in certain places. So massive hurricane strengthening. Let me quickly just jump over and share with you the updated Zero Hedge story on it. I'll try not to be redundant. Here's the latest update. Advisory note from the National Hurricane Center shows Hurricane Milton has rapidly intensified, as we talked about, into a Category 4 storm. Let me just jump through because it reflects some comments made by DeSantis. Over 6 million people, it says, are under hurricane watch in west central Florida, including Tampa, ahead of Hurricane Milton, which we know intensified to a Category 4, and wrote on X. On Sunday, Director Kevin Guthrie of the Florida Division of Emergency Management told reporters that evacuations underway, listen to this, are the largest since 2017. There's increasing risk of life-threatening storm surge and damaging winds for portions of the west coast of Florida, peninsula beginning Tuesday night or early Wednesday, according to the National Hurricane Center. We talked about the storm surge, 8 to 12 feet, guys. That's a big deal. It says here this is much higher than Hurricane Helene when the area recorded 7 to 8 feet storm surge. So it's saying right now, if it even holds where it's at a Category 4, the storm surge will be worse than Helene. So during a news conference on Sunday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency for 51 of the state's 67 counties, up from 35 on Saturday. DeSantis said this allows state officials to operate without the limitations of bureaucracy, making critical resources available to communities ahead of any potential storm impacts. Again, great, not playing from behind. Director Kevin Guthrie of the Florida Division of Emergency Management also told reporters that evacuations underway, again, largest since 2017, got to go back many, many years now. He says, I urge Floridians to finalize your storm preparations now, enact your plan. I highly encourage you, he says, to evacuate. Tampa Mayor Jane Castor told CNN that residents should just go now to beat the traffic and go now and just go to higher ground. DeSantis also noted the Florida National Guard, the Florida State Guard, additional FDOT personnel, and the Florida Highway Patrol have been activated and deployed to aid in debris removal and provide logistical support to local entities. So guys, very serious down in Florida. And again, we all have to watch what's going on. We have a lot happening in the country. This is just one more pile on, okay? This does reverberate and have reverberating effects through other states' economies. Don't forget that, right? I mean, yes, the Florida economy will be hit hardest by this, but it reverberates across the country, okay, with costs of everything, all right? So let's just be diligent and monitoring what's happening with everything else, election coming up, as I'm sure all of you are. So I appreciate you stopping by today to watch the show. And please stay safe, stay vigilant, take care, all of you. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.